So my boy JT got that bag. Indianapolis Colts star running back Jonathan Taylor has agreed to a 2-year, $44 million contract extension that keeps him locked down through the 2028 season. A lucrative new agreement that features a maximum value of $47 million and includes $39 million in total guarantees, averaging $22 million per year in new money. This deal represents the largest third contract ever signed by a running back in NFL history and places him right behind Bijan Robinson as the second highest paid running back in the NFL. Also, the new extension adds, in addition to the last year of his previous 3-year deal, it adds up to a total of $60 million over the next 3 seasons, man. So shout out to my boy Jonathan Taylor for getting that bag. Well deserved, man. Well deserved. Y'all already know my rule. I'm about everybody getting the bag. Y'all know how your boy Chill is, man. So I think this is well deserved. And let's be real, he's earned it. I mean, he was a running back that was in MVP conversations last season. So he was a huge part in he is a huge part in what they do. The Colts would not be, in my opinion, anywhere near as competitive as they are, as tough to beat when they're fully healthy and fully on go, if you will, as they are. If it wasn't for Jonathan Taylor, obviously the things that he can do with the football in his hands, man, it's unbelievable. Like, he's extremely talented, and he's been consistent. Only 2 seasons out of his career has he not rushed for over 1,000 yards. So he's been consistent. Like I said, only 2 seasons out of his whole career, 2 seasons out of all of his years of playing has he not rushed for 1,000 yards. So every season other than that, he's been on go. He's been, only thing drama he's had as far as, off the field and stuff like that has been contract stuff, which is understandable because I will beat this drum, pause, until the end of time. If a player like Jonathan Taylor, who is worth the money, clearly is one of your best players, and is hands down undoubtedly one of your best players, like JT is and has always been, if they're one of your best players and it comes down to like a money thing, like you guys know we were talking about Baker Mayfield, last week. We're talking about Baker Mayfield. We're talking about Vita Vea, right? With these type of players, with these players out there, when it comes down to them talking about money and wanting new money and wanting a contract extension, whenever a player says, okay, I feel like I deserve to be paid more than this, I feel like I need more than this because I'm producing at a higher level than what my contract says I am. Whenever a player feels that way, you guys already know my sentiment on it. It's validated, in my opinion. Now, here's the thing. It's validated. Now, while I believe you can go about it respectfully, you can go about, approaching the team respectfully, I don't believe that you have to take your frustrations from the front office not giving you a contract out on your teammates and out on your players and, out on the people around you, or just getting on social media and bashing the organization. Oh, they've been terrible. And just put all the business of the organization out there. I don't feel like you should do that. And Jonathan Taylor didn't do that. I'm just saying in general, because, some players do go that route. Like, okay, well, they didn't want to pay me, so I'm going to just go ahead and blast the team and put everything on social media. And, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with, the just bump it, why not just air everything out approach. I don't agree with that. I think there's a more respectful, more professional way of doing things like Jonathan Taylor did. Jonathan Taylor just made it clear that, look, I don't know what I have to prove to you guys for y'all to know that I'm worth this money. But when he was fighting for his contract extension, not this one, but the one before this one, he was just saying, look, I know I'm worth more than this. I'm rushing for these many yards. I mean this much to the team. Come on, let's go ahead and pay up. And they finally did pay up and paid him what he was worth, and rightfully so. And this is another rightfully so extension for him, getting 2 years, $44 million, well deserved. And like I said in that Bijan Robinson video, man, this is, and I love it. And if you love just everybody getting paid the way I do, I love the fact that the running back position is finally getting back to where it's should have been this whole time. It's just players, and I'm not going to say no names because we don't do that over here, but players in the past, when they got paid and they were running backs, they did not live up to their contract expectations. So what that did was all the NFL front offices were like, okay, well, running back is not a valued position, okay, because you only had this many years in your prime. If we pay you this, you're not going to live up to this, and we have these players as the example of why you won't live up to it. Bump your talent, bump what you can do, bump that you're not those players. You're not going to live up to it because they didn't live up to it. And I hated that stigma going on running backs for years. And I love the fact that finally teams are becoming more comfortable, becoming more lenient, becoming more trusting in the running back enough to pay him what he's really worth, what he really deserves. So I love that fact. And Jonathan Taylor getting paid today is another perfect example of that. Now, Jonathan Taylor, I expect to have another great season. If you guys don't know, like I said, only 2 years out of his career has he not had over 1,000 yards. Excuse me. And Jonathan Taylor has played 6 seasons in the NFL, and only 2 of them have not been over 1,000 yards. Last season, he had 1,585 yards on 323 carries in 17 games, averaged 4.9 yards a carry, and had 18 rushing touchdowns. And once again, at one point was leading the MVP conversation when the Colts were 8-2. Unfortunately, that didn't end up panning out. You guys know it's an uphill battle for any position outside of quarterback to win the MVP anyway. Like it is, man, like, and that's a topic for a different day, but just to let you guys know how difficult it is, in my opinion, for Jonathan Taylor to really have brought home that MVP award, because he was really in those conversations to really win the MVP at one point in time. He was in the conversation to win the MVP at one point. The Colts were 8-2, and Jonathan Taylor was absolutely beasting on the NFL field. So he was deserving of it, and he was potentially at one point going to win the MVP. But for that to actually have happened, let me tell you, Jonathan Taylor would have had to get let me see. He probably would have had to have maybe over 2,000 yards for sure. Over 2,000 yards. And I'm talking about just rushing, not passing, none of that. I'm talking about just straight rushing. Over 2,000 yards rushing. And all the other quarterbacks would have had to play terrible. Or not terrible, but all the other quarterbacks would have had to have very underwhelming seasons, because that's just not how the NFL does it. That's just, and I can't argue with it, because I can't lie and say like Matthew Stafford didn't deserve it, because he clearly did. Like look, shout out to my homeboy Matt with the hat to the back. Matthew Stafford is an absolute beast. He's a baller. He's a great quarterback in this league, and he did deserve every bit of that MVP award. So that's no flack on him at all. But I'm just saying, hypothetically, for him actually to have won that MVP, Matthew Stafford would have had to play terrible. Drake May would have had to play terrible. Every other quarterback that was in MVP talks would have had to play not terrible. I'm sorry, I keep saying terrible. They would have had to play very underwhelming, meaning they have a whole lot of interceptions. They have a whole lot of plays that don't represent how elite they are, how good they are. It would have had to be that to allow Jonathan Taylor to stand out that much for him to win the MVP award. So that was an uphill battle from jump. But that's not even, so I don't even put that on him. But he was in MVP conversation, so y'all should know from that alone how great of a season this dude had. Like, Jonathan Taylor was absolutely feasting. Over the course of his career, he's been a rushing champion. He also managed to win the Triple Crown, or the rushing Triple Crown, at one point of his career. If you guys don't know what that is, that means he managed to lead the league in carries with 332. This was in 2021, by the way. He led the league in carries with 332 carries. Led the league in yards with 1,811 yards. And 18 rushing touchdowns as well. That was in 2021, where he won the rushing Triple Crown. So shout out to him on that. And like I said, his production outside of 2 years in his career have been off the charts. And even them 2 years were like, it wasn't terrible years. Like any running back wouldn't be mad, put it like that, to have those seasons. In 2022, he had 861 yards with 4 rushing touchdowns. 2023, he had 741 yards with 7 rushing touchdowns. And once again, in those years, he played 11 and 10 games. So those years were shortened. So just imagine if he would have played the full season or even 15 games, he would have gotten over 1,000 yards in those seasons as well. But the facts are the facts, and he hasn't done the whole, I like to say like the whole just flush all the way down. What I mean by that is, when I say a running back or receiver has flushed, that's like my word. I mean, every single year of your career, you've been over that 1,000 yard mark every single year of your career. You like flush 1,000, you've been over 1,000 your entire career. So you don't have that flush 1,000, but for the most part, he's managed to get over 1,000 yards in every single year of his career outside of 2 seasons. So he's been consistent. He's done nothing but be that rock, be that constant that the Colts need on offense. So he just deserved this contract. And the person that I know might feel a way about it, and it's unfortunate, but he's gonna get his pretty soon. But I know he probably feels a way about it, or is looking at this situation like, wow, like that's what the team thinks of me. And that person is Jahmyr Gibbs. Allow me to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs really quickly. I know Jahmyr Gibbs probably isn't a hater, and I don't think he should be at all. He's not a hater. He's not a person that, looks down on people, I would assume, or look at somebody else payday and, and try to down them or try to down their team. But allow me to say this. Bijan Robinson got paid. Okay. Jonathan Taylor got paid today. Okay. Both of those running backs have done something very similar. They've been that rock, like I said, that rock and that constant for their offense consistently. Whenever the team needed them to be, they were always that rock and that constant for the team. And they got paid for it this offseason. They got paid for their services. Now, granted, they had to wait a little while, or at least in Bijan's case, he had to wait a little while. He had to do a hold in to get his bread, but, he had to wait a little minute, but he got his money. Jonathan Taylor got his money. Okay. Jahmyr Gibbs was that rock and constant for the Lions whenever they freaking needed it this past season. Why, oh why, has he not gotten his yet? And I'm not saying that his is not on the way. I'm not saying that his is not brewing right now, because as we speak, they could be finishing up the paperwork. I don't know his agents. I don't know people inside the Lions organization. I'm just saying from the outside looking into this situation. 2 running backs have gotten paid, and Jahmyr Gibbs has still not gotten paid. Why, oh why, is that happening? Like I said, why in the Joe Buck, like I said in the Baker Mayfield video, why in the Joe Buck is that happening right now? Pay the man. Look, Jonathan Taylor, Bijan Robinson, both of them, look at their careers, look at their production, look at both of them. They've done one thing for their teams. They've been the rock and constant whenever the team have needed it. Whenever the Falcons need Bijan, you guys know I'm a Falcons fan, Bijan is there. Whenever they need Jonathan Taylor is there, okay? Where Jahmyr Gibbs, every time he was needed, and he proved it to you guys, every time he was needed in this past season, every time he was needed over his career, but anytime he was, especially this past season, whenever he was needed, he executed. He executed like a pro, like an elite running back, like the elite running back that he is. Why has he not gotten his bread yet? I don't know what the reason of that is, but I will say this. If that contract does not come soon, Detroit, I'm going to go ahead and let you know this right now. If that contract don't come soon, Detroit, pause on that. But if it don't manifest itself soon, y'all gonna find yourself without an elite running back to start the year off because, hey, what is his okay? The whole reason people play this game is one because they love it, and two, it provides them a way to provide for their family, to keep up a lifestyle, to make sure everyone in their family is taken care of. They have responsibilities, they have lives to maintain, they have family to take care of, they have people depending on them to make things happen. Okay, it's not just wanting money for the sake of wanting money. Jahmyr Gibbs has done nothing but shown you that he can be that running back for your franchise. He's done it. He literally showed you this past season, if there were any doubts of if he can be, he literally showed you this past season that he could be. Why is his contract taking so long? Pause. Why? I could understand wait until Bijan's is done. I could get that. I understood that. But now Jonathan Taylor's is done. Lions, what's taking so long? What's taking so long? After Bijan's contract got done, if I was the Lions, the minute Bijan's contract got done, if you want, matter of fact, if they want to be savvy like this, go ahead and do it. The minute Bijan's contract got done, if they wanted to go ahead and make sure Jahmyr Gibbs was happy, we ain't even going to talk figures or whatever, but the minute they should have made Jahmyr Gibbs happy, and they should have went whatever Bijan's contract was, they go get that contract, right? Whatever his contract was, the numbers, the figures, we discussed it on the video. Whatever his contract was, make it $1 over and offer that to Jahmyr Gibbs. I guarantee you he signed it. I guarantee you he signed it. To become the highest paid running back in NFL history, it's only by $1, but hey, he's the highest paid running back in NFL history. But instead, you've let Bijan got paid and Jonathan Taylor got paid, and I haven't heard anything about a Jahmyr Gibbs extension. Like I said, I don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but I do know that I haven't heard about an extension happening, at least of today. So I don't know if y'all were waiting after maybe these two get done. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know. Excuse me. Y'all need to go ahead and do it. I'm gonna just say that now. You need to go ahead and do it. For real. You need to go ahead and do it. I'm just gonna put that out there and leave it at that. Because if not, you're gonna be without an elite running back to start off the year. I'm telling you. And then you might be without an elite running back the next couple seasons, because Jahmyr Gibbs might just leave after this, so why not? But I'm letting you know, sooner the better. The sooner the better. But shout out to my boy Jonathan Taylor, man, for getting his bag, getting his payday. Y'all already know I'm about everybody getting a bag. This was well deserved for him. He will have a huge responsibility to just be him this year, and make sure that he don't really have any, signs of falling off, because as you guys know, Michael Pittman is no longer a Colt. But they still have pieces. They still got Alec Pierce. They got Josh Downs. They got Tyler Warren. They got Ashton Doolin. So they still got players there. They still have pieces there. But Jonathan Taylor can't have any signs of falling off. And especially with Daniel Jones coming back from his injury, with an injury like that Daniel Jones suffered. Coming off an injury like that, where it's an injury that you're out for a while and you got to go through recovery. And they said Daniel Jones is like fully back. They said he's fully back to, practice or whatever. So he's fully back and ready to go. He's full go. He's everything. With that being the case, you can't ask Jonathan Taylor to be there enough for Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones' injury is one of those injuries to where he probably is not going to trust his body. And I know the whole thing is, oh, he's doing full reps in training camp and he's full go in training camp. He's all this. Yeah, that's great. That's training camp. But what have I said repeatedly on this channel? And NFL players say this all the time. You can go full go in training camp and all of that. That's great. That's wonderful. That's amazing. But one thing is for certain. There is nothing that you're going to do on that practice field. Okay, nothing that you're going to do on that practice field that will prepare you for game day. It's nothing that's going to prepare you for game day. Nothing. I don't care how many out route throws you throw. What other drills do quarterbacks do in training camp? I don't care how many ladder drills you throw, trying to work on your arm. I don't care how many deep passes you throw. I don't care how many rollout passes you throw, how many scrambles you try to do. I don't care how many times they simulate the defense rushing at you. There is nothing, okay, that it can prepare you for playing on Sundays. Nothing. So with that being the case, Jonathan Taylor is gonna have to be like that. That he's already that leader. Like, you can tell his veteran leadership weighs heavy on the team. Like, you can tell he's that veteran presence. But he's gonna have to be that like I said, that rocking that constant. Because Daniel Jones tore his Achilles. So when he gets out there on Sunday, yeah, he's practicing and everything, but there's a chance. We saw it with Kirk Cousins there, and I use Kirk Cousins as the biggest example because his was the most apparent in my opinion. But we saw it with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins got out there. I remember as a Falcons fan, he got out there in that first game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. His was that as well. He got out there against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he didn't look comfortable. He didn't. He did not look comfortable at all. He looked like he was not afraid to get hit, but he looked like he was very like, and I don't know if this was the case, but he looked like he was very nervous. He was very, cautious. He was very, just anxious instead of just playing the game of football and just being just being calm and collected and being just a quarterback and just playing the game. He looked like he was thinking about the injury. I'm not sure if he was or not, but I'm just saying I would expect that from Daniel Jones as well. So JT is going to have to be that guy to, okay, when Daniel Jones gets in his head, or if he gets in his head, knock on wood, hopefully he don't, but if he gets in his head, okay, let me hand it off to JT, and I know he can carry the load, and I know I can give myself a minute to calm down. I can give myself a minute to just breathe and whoo-sah. Okay, I can give myself a chance to breathe and get into a rhythm. Okay, and now I can relax and just slowly start to roll into the game. JT gives you that comfortable person to just rely on in the backfield. So he gonna have to have no signs of falling off this year, which trust me, if y'all know Jonathan Taylor, he won't. Dude, Jonathan Taylor is an absolute beast. Okay, so I expect him to be Jonathan Taylor as always. But congratulations on him for getting his contract. I can't wait to see what the Colts do this year. They got my boy Sauce Gardner over there, so he's one of my favorite corners right now. So the Colts are an exciting team to me. It's going to be interesting to see how they look without Pittman. But they still have, like I said, some really solid pieces over there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they shape up, especially with Daniel Jones, seeing if he can maintain that level of play that he was at before he got injured. See if he can maintain that and get back to that point. That will be the question around the Colts. So we will see. But as far as Jonathan Taylor, man, well deserved on this contract extension. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it in the comments below. Did y'all feel like he deserved it? If not, why? If y'all feel like he did deserve it, why? And also, y'all let me know y'all opinions on Jahmyr Gibbs not getting his yet, man, because I think it is an absolute disgrace. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Your boy Chill is out, man. Peace. Real quick, I want to thank God, my family, my support system, and of course you guys, man. The channel has just hit over 100 subscribers, so I want to thank you guys for that. That's a huge accomplishment and a huge milestone for me. Just getting started, man. Of course, not the biggest accomplishment, but that's an accomplishment that I had in mind. That was a goal that I had. Now the channel is over that. I appreciate you guys for that, man. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for all you guys' love and support. It's only up from here, man. So, y'all stay tuned, man. It's going to get real interesting, man, for real. Y'all stay tuned.